Hey, everybody. It always feels weird saying that because we're on a Facebook Live, and that means literally no one is there when you first say that. So I'll wait like 5 minutes, and then I'll just drop a hey, everybody in the middle of this thing randomly. For anyone who is tuning in after the fact, thank you for finding us on either Facebook or YouTube. Please remember to follow us, like our channel, subscribe, like the videos, hit the notifications button, smash that button, whatever the kids say. And for anybody who is starting to join us live here on Facebook, hello, welcome. Nice to see, nice to see some of you. I'm not.
Nathan Dunn, he says,
All right.
I am here.
Thank you,
So
Nathan.
we have one.
All right, Nathan, it's just you. So just ask whatever questions you have.
No.
Oh.
Matt Arnold says, hey, everyone, very excited for this release. Looks amazing.
Hey, Arnold. Yeah, I get it. No. Hey, Matt Arnold. Speaking of Arnold, at some point, we're going to have Alex check in from like doing his lawn or whatever.
It's going to
happen. We are here ostensibly to talk about the Gomorrhean Acts, which goes live tomorrow. But this is a live Q&A, so if anybody has questions, please put them in the comments. Rob is trying to monitor those, and we'll try and ask as we go. We have a bunch of questions that people have put in early, either on the Regal Facebook page or on the Regal Facebook group, which if anybody who is watching this either now or later isn't a part of, go search Regal Robot Fan and Collector Showcase on Facebook and join that group. It's a lot of fun. It's a really good group of folks, and constantly impresses me with the level of content we get there. And it's a great way to see people's collections with our stuff in it and beyond. And that's probably my favorite part of it. It's like, getting to do this stuff is cool, but seeing it in people's collections is really like that makes us smile.
Ian Thompson says, hey, guys. So, hey, Ian.
Hey, Ian. Oh, good. He made it.
Yeah.
He missed the part about a man. Oh, that's too bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot. Steven says, hey, y'all, I'm in.
Nice. Do you want to run through some of the prior questions that people filter in?
Let's do that until we get some new ones.
Katie printed it in the biggest possible font. Rob could see it from space.
Speaking of Stephen Yu, I have a question from him.
Okay.
He wrote, I'd love to ask a question. Wah, wah.
I was actually disappointed Rob didn't do that earlier.
Look,
so
I had a week.
Yeah.
All right. He goes, what is the likelihood of us seeing some more A New Hope pieces next year? I'm sure the focus will still be on Return of the Jedi with some Empire sprinkled in, but it would be very cool to see the first film represented more in the archive collection.
So there's definitely some possibility there. We have 3 different things that are in various stages that would qualify already. The challenging thing with A New Hope when it comes to archive collection, and the reason that the archive collection has been so Return of the Jedi heavy at this point, is because the majority of what's in the archives is from the later films, because it didn't really come to be until after Empire that George started to keep this stuff. He got Skywalker Ranch. ILM had a more fixed location, and they started to really hold on to things. There's a fair amount of stuff there. I mean, certainly the Tusken Raider we did as archive collection. There's, like I said, a handful of things, some replica-y stuff, some bust type stuff. We definitely have a real strong love of that first film. Certainly anything Cantina is great for me. But a lot of that Cantina stuff isn't in the archive. So if we're doing things with lineage, we're going to have to find different ways to do it. Stay tuned. I'll leave it at that.
Just a few more people popping in. Alex Arnold says, hello there.
I knew we'd get here.
Hello, Alex. Tiki Man says, happy Monday, everybody.
Always a happy Monday, Tiki Man.
James Snyder. Hello, you Roboteers. It's catching on.
I think
that wasn't Tony.
Oh,
that was James. It may be a thing.
The Roboteers. I don't hate it.
We need ears.
Yeah. The ears.
2 monocles.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, they're like,
it also makes perfect sense.
Disney's like, hey, that's Mickey. No, these are monocles.
Monocles.
But there are two of them.
Mickey Monocle.
Yeah.
That should be his name.
Mickey Monocle. Oh, God.
You're
Yeah, our little action figure in the back there.
Robert Linda says, hello, guys. Hey, Robert.
Hey.
I went to school with Robert.
Oh, hey, all right.
Little tidbit. All right, Dylan says, I'm holding out for anything with a Death Star droid.
Ooh. Yeah, I like the Death Star droid.
Somebody...
A.K.A. Sandcrawler droid, A.K.A. RA7,
yes,
I believe.
Yes.
Brian Muir sculpted for the first movie. Big favorite of mine. Big favorite.
Uh-oh.
And we have gotten to see that droid very, very closely in the archives. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. Steven is seeing stuff.
What do you mean?
He says he likes something over your left shoulder.
My left shoulder.
I don't know.
That is my left shoulder, yeah.
Yeah, he says on your left, so I guess
on my left.
It's kind of on my left. But.
Well, that's... Are we talking... Is it stage
left? Yeah, exactly.
Because my left is over here, Stephen. I don't know what left you're talking about.
Alex says, glad Rob weathered the storm and was able to get back in one piece.
It was touch and go for a while there.
Alex and I weathered the storm together one day.
Oh my God.
It was quite wet. All right, another question from Craig. Okay. This is a pretty interesting question.
Okay.
I was watching the first few live videos you guys did, and you mentioned the board a lot. In quotes, the board. It's a thing.
The board.
I like a shirt that says the board.
Just the board. I like that.
Are there things on the board that never were made or have been on for a long time? Or is it all stuff guaranteed to come out? Just curious.
So, yes. There are definitely times where something is on the board and for whatever reason never gets there.
Right. And it's a lot of the time we take it off the board. It's not like something that we can't make.
Sometimes, and that does happen.
Yeah.
But the way that the board sort of functions, everything shifts as we go. We have a section of it that is stuff that has a release date, and it's up there in order. And so, like, there's kind of stuff on one side that's a little more like, okay, these are firm ideas that we have maybe done some development on, or maybe have some prototype work done, but we don't have a date. Then you have things that have a date, and then you have things that are really fixed in the next few weeks, and then gradually they come off that way, and things shift over, and they get dates. But there are times where something never makes that leap. Mm-hmm. I mean, looking at it right now, almost everything that's on the top half
is a pretty solid board.
Yeah, it's pretty much gonna happen. It's just a question of dates.
Yeah.
There's a handful of things on there that are pretty loose. Like sometimes we'll have something on the board that just says miscellaneous decor item because we know we haven't released one in a while, and we're like, oh, Black Friday's coming. We should do a decor item for Black Friday, that kind of thing. But mostly, if it gets to the board, it's been
vetted.
Like we're already doing some sort of development on it.
Ian Thompson says, "A Man is the number 1 spot on the board."
Oh, yeah.
He's all on the board in our hearts.
He's on this board.
Yes.
In here.
Parminder says, "Hey guys." Hey Parminder.
Hello.
All right.
So we got like the A team here.
Yeah. Everyone's in. It's
classic. These are the Roboteers.
These are that's a thing. It's catching on.
It is pretty good.
Tony had something there.
Yeah.
I have a few axe questions. So let's go with that.
I've seen an axe.
Yes. One is, I don't know, maybe you want to bring it down for this question? Because the question is, how heavy is it?
Then I don't want to bring it down. Oh, my back.
Yeah, you're asking the wrong person.
Yeah. Okay. So it is, it's deceptively heavy. It's one of those things where I think we actually weighed it out, and it's maybe 7 pounds, but there's something about it that you don't expect it to be that dense, and it feels much heavier than that. Like if I had a guess, I would have said like 10, 11 pounds.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's weighty.
Maybe I'm just weak. I don't know, but yeah, it is. Oh God.
Oh, don't break it.
It is definitely weighty and fairly large. It is funny to see it in the movie, and you see like that big fake Gamorrean hand on it, and like it just looks like nothing in his hand. And then you see it up close, and you're like, oh gosh.
Ian says the wood detail on the axe is so impressive. I would have never guessed it wasn't actually wood.
Actually,
he didn't.
Are you able to see the paint on this at all?
Yeah, somebody was coming up. Yeah.
So Gabe did a great review video. If you haven't seen it, it's in the Regal fan group where you can go to. I think it's Star Wars Replicas is his handle on YouTube. But it's funny with his lighting, it was tough to see the paint on the stick part of this. And somebody was asking, like, is that just one color? It is not. There's a lot of staining and different color on there. Hopefully it's coming through. If not, I mean, you could probably even get the camera closer if we needed. But
yeah. Very wide of you.
Thank you. That's it. But yeah, there's staining in the nuts. There's overall tones. The thing we didn't want to do is, if I were painting this as a prop to be on screen, I'd do something that got in the grooves and really darkened. And it's funny, it looks real, but it's cartoony looking, and it looks great on a camera, but not in real life. And this is how the real thing looks in real life. It's very grayed out. It's very like I don't know. It looks like it was just left out for years or something like that.
Parkman has a really funny comment. He goes, one of the few Kenner figure accessories that was impossible to lose.
Oh, yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, and you'd never, it didn't wind up with your, G.I. Joes or something. It's like, no, that's definitely the Gamorrean's axe. But that's the whole reason we picked this thing. It's so funny because it's like, we saw this thing at the archives, and there's two different types of Gamorrean axes. And you see them when 3PO and R2 first come in. Those two guards have the two different axes, and one looks like a regular people axe, and then one is this awesome looking thing. And it was just like, well, this is just so much more unique. Like, if we're going to do one, we got to do this. It's funny, the silver also disappears on me.
Yeah, it's showing up on at least what I can see. So
yeah.
I'm curious
how it kind of catches the light rather than looks painted on, which is great.
Yeah.
It's a lot of rust tone, a lot of dark tone. There's spatter and things like that. It's funny. It's like so many things in Star Wars. It probably took someone all of about 8 minutes to paint this thing in real life, but when you have to duplicate it, it takes forever.
80 minutes.
Yeah. That's because you're now having to paint tight instead of just fast and loose.
Alex says, I still can't understand how that's not actual wood.
and
Steven,
actual.
And Steven says, I think everyone has to order one so they can see the wood paint in person.
That's a good idea. Yeah,
that's
that's actually a really good way to do it. Yeah. Well, and this goes up tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern. It'll be $15.99. It comes with the black wall hanger. It comes with Stephen Costantino's autograph on the metal plaque for this limited edition. He was one of the Gamorrean guards. In particular, he's seen on the top of the sail barge. There's some great behind-the-scenes photos of Stephen with Billy D. Williams' son, Corey D., who played one of the Klaatu aliens. And so there's a couple of good shots of the two of them with their masks off. If anybody's curious, I don't know if it's StephenCostantino.com or whatever, but if you look him up, he does have a site, and he's got a whole bunch of cool behind the scenes photos of him at the Sarlacc pit and stuff, and with Kenny Baker and things. It's really awesome.
Michael says, man, the axe came out great. Loving the knot in the cabinet too.
I don't know what his
shoulder thing.
Something on the cabinet.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this back the other way because it can be displayed in either direction,
versatile,
depending on your decor.
Now the rest of Michael's question is: do you have an exact length of the axe? Site says over 31 inches, and my space is roughly 32.
32 will do it. It is, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 31 and a half or 31 and 3/8 or something. Now, you know what? This one's coming up just at 31. So there you go.
You look like you will have room then, Michael. Craig says, I don't know why, but the blade actually looks like leather, not metal. It confuses me every time. I can kind of see that.
I can kind of see it, yeah.
Back to the axe questions.
I think in person, when you see the silver highlights hit, it starts to
in
feel
person,
more like
it
metal.
definitely does not
And,
look
and
like
we're
it.
trying to, trying to avoid getting, like I said, I don't want to be cartoony. I want to be true to the real paint on the thing. But that is interesting.
Speaking of the real paint,
Mhm.
Anthony is asking, is it made the same way that the original prop was?
That's a good question, Anthony.
Very good question.
It is not actually made the same way. It is scanned off the original prop, so it matches all of the details of the original prop we captured with a high-resolution laser scan. The original prop is made to be held by a rubber hand with wire in the fingers, and or a mechanical hand. It's made from a very light piece of wood and vac form plastic. So if you think about the plastic that you used to get in the old Halloween masks back in the 70s and 80s, it's that kind of plastic. It's a little thicker, but it's the same idea, like a stormtrooper costume would have been. And it's two pieces clamshelled together with a bad seam and some goopy glue around where it attaches to the thing. We left the goopy glue off. But that's how the original is. So the original is extremely lightweight. It's the polar opposite of what we've got. It probably weighs like 2 pounds, if that. So it's that's the difference there. It's funny. I think if we ever shipped one that felt like the original prop, people would think it was junk.
Yeah.
What is this?
Shane is asking, can it cut a birthday cake?
I think the only way to find that out is to test it. Katie, bring in the cake.
You want to wheel a giant cake in?
It's like, oh no, we forgot someone was in there and going to jump out. So it's
Easily.
technically for display only.
Yeah, but
I do believe if someone wanted to,
Yeah.
they could probably do that, but we do not recommend it.
Yeah.
This is not going to be a Gallagher
he's
show.
also asking, is it made of cake? No.
Will it?
No.
Is it cake?
Is
Could
it cake?
Could it cut a watermelon and like everybody gets the ponchos on and we just Gallagher this thing?
Steven is saying, is the beading supposed to represent welding
Yes.
on the original prop?
Yeah, that's our theory.
Definitely.
And it's on the original prop. It's probably hot glue.
Yeah.
But we replicated it is resin on ours, so it's nice and sturdy.
Well, I'll come back to this question. But Peter
Okay.
says, I keep 2 lonely Gamorrean guards who definitely need to be properly armed.
Nice.
Nice. That means he wants 2 of them. That's right.
Yeah, or he wants the other axe
Am I reading that
afterwards.
right?
I mean, look, if this axe does well, you know,
Yeah.
we might have accidentally.
I knew that was
No, we
good.
might have scanned the other axe too, just in
Yeah.
case that would be a cool thing someday. You never know.
Nathan says, I'll contribute to a GoFundMe to buy the cake for the demonstration.
This
could be a thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We should do it on like Return of the Jedi's 40. What is it, 50th or something?
Yeah.
What's coming up? It already did 40. So it'd be,
Oh, gosh.
this year was 41. So next year would be 42.
Yeah,
so the
that
42nd
sounds-
birthday,
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
that's the
Yeah,
that's the
that's it.
axe birthday, isn't it?
Yeah,
The-
totally.
yeah.
All right, why don't you run down a little bit more about the axe, the quantities, the price.
Oh, yeah.
everything.
So,
the date it's available, the time it's available.
Yeah, price is $15.99 US. I believe the shipping is $49. It ships in one piece in a very large box with a die-cut styrofoam insert and bubble wrap on all the parts. Every one of them is handmade in the USA. They're hand-cast. They are hand-painted. They are hand-packed. The orders are processed by hand. It does come with a custom wooden display, also made in the USA. The metal plaque, again made in the USA, also hand-signed, in this case by Stephen Costantino, who played one of the Gamorrean guards in the film. You'll note that I am being very careful to say Costantino and not Constantino, which I made that error very early on, and I keep trying not to. But he's a really cool guy, and he's represented by the same agent who does Roger Christian, who worked with us on our gaffy stick props. And Roger, famously the art director for A New Hope and set dresser, and also worked on the sequels and I think even the prequels as well. 12-month payment plan available on this. Very extended, long-term. I think it's 15 or 20% down, and then it's, you're talking about maybe $100 a month after that, which is pretty cool. And I think that's all the details.
That's
Goes
good.
live tomorrow on
Yes.
our site, regalrobot.com/Star Wars. Be there by 12 noon Eastern. There's only 100 pieces in the edition. That's the thing we left off. So if you want to get one of those 100 pieces, get there at 12 noon tomorrow and get your order in.
Okay. Where is this question? Is the Smithsonian magazine there purely for decorative purposes?
No. Somebody had asked a question earlier. It's so funny. This is the copy I've had for years. And now everybody on our Facebook group keeps buying them on eBay, so I can't get a better one for myself. I don't know if you can even tell. There's a big piece of like packing tape across it. Somebody had asked us for a clue as to the next maquette. And I thought a nice clue would be to say that it is on this cover. And then the other information we gave earlier was that it is going to be a legacy edition as well as a signature edition, and that the person who made this maquette was not someone who had done legacy sketches with us yet. So I think that's as narrowed up.
That's a pretty good clue.
That's as tight as we can get that for now. So there you go. And if you don't yet have a copy, back off. They're mine. No, pick one up. It's there's not a ton going on inside the magazine. I think there's like one other spread of pictures from the archives, which right there, I'm saving someone the reason to buy it. But it is a pretty classic cover. And I love that's the thing they chose. It's like you could put C-3PO, Darth Vader, any number of things on the cover from the Lucasfilm archives, but these maquettes just are such an example of the creativity that happened at ILM, and I'm just really thankful for that.
Steven says, I like how the reflection on the back case, frame left, slowly faded away to reveal the maquette. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, no idea.
Switching gears slightly. Robert asks, Indiana prop replica after Belloc staff, ? What's the next one? I have to know. Or at least a clue.
No clue, sorry. I'll say this. We have 1, 2, 3. We have 4 technically on the board.
The board.
Which means those are 4 different things that are in development. Some have had maybe digital work done. Some have had physical prototype work done. Some, I think out of those 4, actually, none of them are just a concept at this point, although one of them needs more work than the others. So there are more coming after the staff. There's also some cool other, indie art and decor type stuff in the works. There's a lot for 25.
Yes.
There's a lot for 25, but there's a lot of stuff for 25 that's going to be, like some decor type stuff or more reasonably priced type stuff that I think also though is still really cool. And I think there's going to be a few things that really surprise people for 2025.
Well, both Robert and Alex are like, 4? Very excited about the number.
They're not going to be right away. I think our next one is probably like, we're doing Belloc staff. You're probably looking at late Q1, early Q2. We're talking
that sounds about right.
March, April kind of territory. Maybe late February, but it's probably March, April for whatever's next there.
We have someone asking about the staff. Speaking of sticks or staffs, any more info on the staff? Belloc staff.
Very soon. So did we announce the date?
I think we announced the date.
I think we said the date. So right now that's at November 12th, noon Eastern, regalrobot.com/Indiana Jones. I don't think we've announced the price yet, so I'll hold off on that. The edition size is 100 pieces for the full staff with the Paul Freeman autograph. on the plaque. And the way the plaque is going to be on that is actually matted inside of a frame, a nice wood frame, so that you can hang it on the wall next to the staff, which hangs vertically with a similar hanger to this. Or you can take the head of the staff separately and put it on a round base and display that on a shelf if you don't have room for the whole staff. And then you can use that same frame with the little stand in the back so you can keep your plaque with it. In addition to the signature edition that can be displayed head only or full thing, comes with the wall hanger, comes with the plaque, there is going to be a numbered edition of just the head of the staff, and that will be available for a limited time for a 1-week offering. So the edition size on that will be set after we have sold all of them. It's the way we've done the last few indie pieces, and that gives people a nice chance to get it. And that will come the head, a wood base like the one the Shankara stones came with, and a small numbered edition plaque like the one the Shankara stones, or the urn, or Grail tablet, Grail, just the Grail cup came with. I'm like, Grail diary? No. Grail tablet? No. So that's about what we've got now. Probably the next video we do like this will probably be for our next maquette release, which is October 29th, 2 weeks away. And that will more details for the staff. And we'll certainly do, as the staff gets closer, sometime probably then November 11th, we would do a video where we bring the staff out and show you some more details and give you all of the dirt.
Ian has a good question. Will the October maquette release be the final one for 2024?
Technically, yes.
Yeah.
It is the final maquette.
Yes.
For 2024.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's
Let's see him guess what that meant.
Yeah. I had nothing for us. The board. The board. Steven's asking, are we expecting November, December to be pretty light release-wise? I'm sure you have a lot to catch up on, and the holidays are coming up.
Yeah, so we have coming up, so we have the Axe releasing tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern, regalrobot.com/Star Wars. Good morning, Axe. Get it. We then have our next Return of the Jedi maquette, who, again, is on this cover somewhere. And that's on 10/29. On 11/12, we have Belloc's Staff released for the Indiana Jones fanatics. From there, we have 2 more smaller releases. One on 11/19 and one on Black Friday. Black Friday is very specifically a very, low-cost decor item, like in the $20 range. It is something that I think anybody who picked up our wall wampas or even the puppet wampas would probably like. I'll leave it at that. But that's mostly there because, with Christmas orders, you need to have like a nice new gift for people to grab. The other one we'll talk about soon. I'll just leave it at that. That'll be an interesting experiment.
Experiment's a good word for it.
But that's it. After Black Friday, no releases until the new year. We like to leave that clear for, honestly, we know everybody's buying a lot of gifts and things like that. We don't want to be like hammering your wallet when you're trying to buy your friends and kids something for Christmas or the holidays.
I'm only asking this question because I just want to get your answer.
Oh, no.
Dylan says, are you looking forward to the December Indiana Jones game, or do you plan to play it? Let me answer this for him.
Yeah, go for it.
Tom has no idea there was a game coming out.
Accurate.
Nor will he play it.
Probably true.
I will play it and enjoy it.
And instead, I will go home on my retro system and I will play the Temple of Doom arcade game for like the 10 millionth time. Yeah, I don't acknowledge video games that came out after about 1987. So otherwise, they make fun of me because my games don't have enough pixels around here. But anybody else out there who likes retro games, let us know in the comments. I always thought that would be cool stuff to make things off of the retro games. Like, that's just, oh God, makes me feel so good.
Dylan again, would you consider playing Indiana Jones game? Would you consider doing a false grail that Donovan drinks from?
We would consider that.
That's
Sure,
a cool
we would.
We definitely spoke about that.
Mm-hmm.
Steve says,
You know what I would want to know,
yes.
and this is not something that's in the works, but there are multiple Holy Grails props that were used in the movie, and we've gone and examined and done all our research and scanning everything on a lot of the different versions, and we've identified a number of them in the film in different places. The one we chose to do is the one that Harrison Ford drinks out of, and is considered basically to be the hero. It's the one you see in that first shot of it too. But there's 3 or 4 or 5 other options of ones that get a little bit of screen time that could be another thing to do. They'll have different gold patterns. The actual shapes are a little different. Some have a thicker stem. Some are a little wider. If you think it's interesting that there are variations on that grail and would love to see that someday, let us know. That could be something we look at, not anytime soon, but maybe down the line we could look at those as well.
Steven says, at this point, we need a maquette bingo card release for Christmas. That would be kind of fun.
That actually is kind of fun. It'd be 90 slots.
Right?
I've got bingo.
Ian says he's still putting in a plug for a group hoodie. He wants a group hoodie.
Oh, okay.
I want a group hoodie. So
I know you do want a hoodie.
I'll lobby for that.
I wear hoodies as much as I play modern video games.
Exactly, yep. But, like...
Yeah, no, that could
we
be
can
fun.
discuss.
Yeah. And by group, they're talking about the Regal Robot Fan and Collector Showcase on Facebook. If you're not there, go there now. Go sign up.
Sign up.
Hit the join button. It'll ask you a couple of questions.
All the cool kids are doing it. Come on, you got to do it.
The coolest kids.
Peter is saying or asking, any updates on the screen-scaled Wampa?
So, if you're in that group over the weekend, I posted some pictures of Michaela and Jules putting hair on them. So, yeah, those we have the first 12 or 15 in various states right now. Most of them have all of the hair on except for a little bit of the hand laying around the face, which they've been doing. And they've already been starting to style the hair. We expect those to start shipping probably about 2 to 3 weeks. What we're waiting on right now, we had to finish a couple of them so when you do a prototype, sometimes there's hand assembly and in particular on this one, the way the horns went on and stuff like that. So we wanted to make sure that we had a finished one that came out of our production molds so that we could size the foam insert that it goes in perfectly. So we actually have samples on that foam being made. And then once we get those samples, we have to place the order for the first run of foam. And then once that foam comes in, they'll be ready to ship. By the time that foam gets here, we should have the first 12 or so that are, I know there's at least 10 or 12 that were paid in full. So all of those will be going right out, and then we can keep going from there. If anybody hasn't picked up one of those, go to the website, check it out. They're really cool. Seeing a whole bunch of them in the works at once is always, that's my favorite part. Next to seeing them in people's homes, which is actually kind of cool because then it's not clogging up our studio. But there is a 12-month payment plan on it. They're going to keep doing these in small waves. The initial batch is, I think, 12 or 15, and then we'll be doing them 5 or 10 at a time after that as they come in. So if you want to grab one of them, and there's only 50 in the edition, go to the website and give it a look. It's pretty cool.
Tiki Man has an interesting question. This is something we've actually spoke about. Would you guys ever consider letting the group vote on an item to release? For example, from a choice of 3 maquettes or rubber?
I think probably.
Yeah,
I could see it happen. I think the idea of, it's funny that what he says about making it a choice of 3 is an interesting way to do it, so that it's not just because if we just said vote for your next maquette,
right.
Forget it. It would just be,
Who would Ian Thompson pick?
I'm not sure.
No idea.
No idea. But I think you could. Probably do that, or maybe even just choose from 2. The challenge with the maquettes is there's a rhythm to what we're doing, in terms of being careful not to have 2 Phil Tippett maquettes back to back or 2 Ken Ralston maquettes back to back. And maybe with some people there's more to choose from in terms of maybe more of their designs are iconic or got used, where like Phil, where so many of his turned into real well-known characters. But yeah, I mean, we're
Yeah,
definitely open
yeah.
to it. Keep asking us about that.
We got a bunch of questions coming in.
Okay.
Well, you know what? Let's just hit this one quick. A couple
Okay.
people are asking about international shipping, if that will ever become a thing.
Unfortunately, for our Disney licensed stuff, our license is still specific to U.S. shipping. As unlikely to change anytime soon. There's a lot that goes into opening that up. Simple things like safety testing and things for every country you have to ship to, and as well as obviously all of the contractual negotiations and all of that. Right now, this is the contract that we've been offered and we continue to work with Disney. I can't say that it would never change, but it is unlikely to change right now. Every license has a territory, and that's why you see companies that have, are only shipping to Japan or only shipping in Korea now. There's, Disney Overseas is doing a lot of specific licenses for different territories, and ours is the U.S. So that doesn't mean that people outside the country can't order. It just means they have to use a U.S. shipping address when they do it. We have we're very thankful. We have a lot of fans from all over the world that order our stuff and bring it home. Every one of them that does it, either is shipping to a U.S. friend or shipping, to some service or something. Unfortunately, we can't help beyond saying, if you have a U.S. address you can ship to, then you're more than welcome to order with us. And we do wish we had a more direct solution.
J. Roman says his wall is ready for his Wampa.
Nice.
And a couple more Wampa questions. Yeah. How big is the box for the Wampa? I'm concerned about getting it through a standard size door.
It should fit through a standard size door. So the Wampa is wider and taller than he is deep. The box, I believe, this information should be on the webpage, so you can double check me on it. But my recollection is it's 30 inches by 30 inches by 20 inches. So, 20 definitely fits through any standard door. The 30 I could see, sometimes you get some inner doors that are 28. That could be a little Grandpa Munster going through with the shovel,
Ian's asking if we're able to do a video chat with Paul Freeman about the staff.
Oh, I would love to. I don't know that that's in the cards, but yeah.
I have Ryan asking about any updates on when the daggers will ship, the Temple of Doom daggers.
So those are in production. We've already started painting the first batch of them. I believe that edition ended at 250 pieces, so good number of daggers to paint up. Right now, we're going to keep working on those. While we're doing that, the company that does the round wood bases with the hole in it for the upright are working on those. And the company that does the welded uprights for us is working on those. So my guess is it should sync up pretty nicely. By the time we finish enough daggers for the paid in full orders, we should just be getting in those. I'm going to say 6 to 8 weeks for those to start shipping. When did those go on sale? Was that 2 weeks ago now?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say probably 6 weeks from now is about when those should start shipping. And like everything, we'll ship them in small waves as we finish them, going initially, in the order that people placed their orders and did checkout, and to the people who paid in full first. And then as the people finish their payment plans, then we start shipping those.
AJ is asking, how quickly will the axe ship once payments are made in full?
Great question. I have that on the website, but that page isn't live yet. Right. I'm going to say Q1 early, they'll start to ship. It's actually probably going to be before that. It'll probably be, because we've already got some of the foam done, I think. I'll have to look to see if that order's in. I know we've got the boxes. I think we've got the boxes in the foam. And the axes have already started. We've just only done a very small number of them so far. I would not be surprised if some of them are shipping within a couple of weeks after the edition goes up for sale. I wouldn't expect them to really get out there, though, until December or January, where we're able to maybe start getting them out, more regularly. And at that point, they'll be going out probably 6 or 8 every week for a number of weeks. But when there's only 100 pieces in the edition, by the time you knock off a handful of them that go out this year, maybe, starting in January, they start going out 6 or 8 a week for, 8 or 10 weeks. And then by the end of February, they're all gone. So that's probably when they'll go. And of course, we'll have a bunch of people on 12-month payment plans too. So I would say all the paid in full orders are probably going to go out in January.
Ian,
was that a long enough answer?
No.
No.
Stretch it out a little
I'm
bit.
just working this out.
Ian's asking, will Effantmon be both a legacy and a signature edition?
That is currently the plan. And the prototyping is pretty far along on him.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we showed the teaser
Yeah.
at San Diego. So, yeah.
John is asking, is there anything new coming out before the end of the year that has not been announced yet?
We sort of teased at that, John.
Did.
Yeah. But Black Friday we'll have a little decor item, Star Wars piece. A lot of fun. If you're a Wampa fan, if you own one of our Wampa signature editions, if you order the puppet scale or if you order the wall scale, you're going to probably want to pick one of these up. The other thing, I don't know that we're ready to talk about.
Yeah.
We're not ready, John. Yeah. Sorry. We'll talk about that soon. That'll be that particular one. What is that? 11/19.
Yeah.
So we'll talk as that gets closer.
Your mom says hi.
Hi, Mom.
We got a good question. Let me go back a bit here. Are there any prop replicas that Disney won't approve because they think it doesn't show the film in a good light?
I don't know how far I can get into that sort of thing, but Disney and Lucasfilm are both concerned about reputation and making sure that the brand as a whole is viewed in a good way, both for Star Wars and Indy. It's rare that we run into that, but there's definitely times where items are either, questioned, or maybe we're told, no, maybe not that one, think about something else.
Steven has a good question. This is way out there, but can you divulge if the Space Slug is likely to feature Phil Tippett's autograph or Doug Beswick's, having received conflicting info on who was the primary creator?
So both of those contributed to it. My understanding is Doug did the mechanism, and Phil did the sort of creative build on it. You also had people like Ralph McQuarrie who did sketching and things like that. There's also, people who have said that John Berg was involved. John, as far as John knows, and as far as Phil says, John did some tests puppeteering it, but wasn't the puppeteer on film. Phil says that was him. I'm trying to think, there was somebody else who I thought had a hand in making, but maybe I'm going outside on that. We have not settled on the edition sizes or the signature, non-signature, legacy, non-legacy on that. There is a little bit of a trickiness with that one in that you will have two different types of props. One that is, 34, 36-inch long prop replica version, and then one that is the scaled down, sort of more dynamic version of it. Still a prop replica, but scaled. And if we do decide to make that a legacy, we've got to figure out which is the legacy, which isn't, and is there some way to make that in a way that's fair to everybody who likes both versions? And so we'll see. We're always looking at it. Rob and I are always talking about who to bring in on these things, and I think overall we're just lucky to know these folks. I mean, I do know both Doug and Phil, and I feel like every time we do one of these editions and we pitch things to these guys, they're all enthusiastic about what we're doing. Even Phil, that is his happy face.
Yeah, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Dylan says, Belloc's staff was something I never even considered as a replica. I'm looking forward to seeing what niche indie replicas you do next. So
Thanks.
Dylan.
Yeah. So are we.
Yeah, we are. I am caught up on all our questions. Oh, wait, no.
Yeah.
Spoke too soon. Rick. Oh, he's asking if we're talking about the axe.
Oh.
He's running late. But you know what? That's a perfect segue
Well, let's
to kind of go
wrap
over
it up.
everything again.
Let me hurt my back and pick this
Give
thing
me
up
edition
again.
size, give me price, give me when you can purchase it.
I feel like that's the way to. Ow, my hand.
Yeah.
100 pieces. That's it. 100 pieces, all signature edition. Stephen Costantino, one of the actors who played the Gamorreans, for the film. Hand cast, hand painted, very heavy, solid resin. It sounds good. And these are going to be available tomorrow morning, tomorrow at 12 noon exactly on Eastern time. 100 pieces in the edition. They're $15.99. That's $1,599 each, fully licensed, etc. There is a 12-month optional payment plan if that's something you'd like to take advantage of, which makes the payments on this extremely manageable. And that's really about it. It is one of those props that we knew we liked, but didn't know we had to make until we handled the real thing. Belloc's staff, same way. It's like, oh, Belloc's staff is cool. Yeah. And then you hold the real prop and you're like, we need to make, other people need to feel how cool this is.
Ian's asking to see the top, like the nose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's such a good, gnarly piece of wood. Yeah, that looks great.
And it's funny, that nub is probably much like all the various knots and breaks in the wood. Like, so there's some cool stuff. I don't know how well the light is picking this up, but there's some cool stuff happening down here, some jagged breaks in the wood. And then you've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 11 knots in this wood. We would never be able to match this if we did that in wood. So instead, using the scan, we can match the grain type, we can match those breakaways, we can match all the knots, and we get to match that really gnarly thing they did on the end there. And so that's why this staff end of this is resin and painted up and aged. I'm going to put it down now because it's hurting my arms.
Well, it's funny because
heavy.
Nathan says we need a Tom Spina training montage video getting in shape for him
yes,
to handle these massive props.
Yeah.
Tony says, so glad the weapon line continues. So good. So thanks, Tony.
Yeah.
Jason says, make way, pig guard coming through. But
nice.
Pig guard in transit. Pig in transit.
Pig in transit.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, and that's Jeannie Lauren doing that. Make way, pig in transit.
Love that. Parminder is asking, will we ever see a Joe Johnson signature or legacy edition piece in the future?
If people have the appetite and the budget for it, because he's not he's kind of at a different level when it comes to getting signatures and things from. It's certainly something we can look at. He's someone that we know, and I feel really lucky that we can reach out to. We've actually, when we were doing the research on the maquettes, he was one of those people that we were emailing photos back and forth and trying to figure out, who did what, and he was actually a big help in a few pieces. So you never know. He would be amazing.
Brandon is asking if he missed you doing your Gamorrean guard impression.
This is like the Tusken Raider, but you oink, oink.
Dylan says the next indie replica is a 1-to-1 scale Ark of the Covenant with 800 pounds of sand. It gets everywhere.
Yeah, it does. It's coarse. Nobody likes it. That would be a lot to ship.
Steven saying, before we end the stream, can Rob give us a close-up of the Rancor maquette?
Close-up of the Rancor?
Oh,
I have to move a few things, but we can probably get to it. You really got to for a second.
Oh, man. Look, I'm still trying to get my bearings. I'm on Florida time.
Hold on, wait. Sorry. I'll just do that.
No idea what you're talking about. I would have been like, I am caught up on questions. Let's someone sneak one in the next 30 seconds.
That's it.
We're
wrapping it up. Thank you, everybody, for watching. As always, if you are watching this on our Facebook channel, please remember to subscribe. If you are not yet a part of the Facebook fan group, go search Facebook. Go Regal Robot Fan, and it'll come up, Regal Robot Fan and Collector Showcase. Join that group. It's the most awesome people around, and it's a lot of fun. And if you're watching this on the YouTube replay, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications button. Go check out our other videos. There's a lot of fun stuff. If you like the things we make, there's a whole bunch of cool shorts and things. Dig in, hit like a bunch of times, help us out. And we forgot to take the phones out of the office. With that, thank you, everybody. It's always a blast. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for everybody who watched, and have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.